Hello, I'm Martin Lambeth, not an actor portraying Martin Lambeth. Anyway, bear with me here. We've had to switch things up due to the newly imposed restrictions, and it's not quite how we were going to approach things, but we're doing our best at the last minute to pull this off. First of all, I'd like to thank the Louisville Art Association for inviting me to be a judge. It's indeed an honor, and I'd like to extend a special note of congratulations to all the participating artists, because I understand it takes a lot of courage to put your creativity on display and open yourself up to scrutiny, so kudos to you for that. I thought I'd start with a little bit of background on myself. I made a living as an artist for over 40 years. I started painting in college. After I graduated from there, I went to a commercial art school for a couple years and studied graphic design. Upon completing that program, I freelanced for a few months doing cartooning and various design jobs until I found a job at an advertising agency where I worked for a year. I got a little fed up with the politics of the agency world and decided to strike out on my own. And I think I did pretty well. I had long-term relationships with an impressive list of clients and received awards and recognitions. So the other thing is, midway through my career, I was an early adopter of the computer at a time when my fellow peers and other people in the industry didn't think it was a professional tool. That led to starting a second company, which was a digital imaging service bureau that took computer files and rendered them for use for printers to complete their process. And as it is often noted, things go full circle, because I started painting again after 33 and a third years, which is some kind of record. And as far as my art credentials, I won't bore you with that, but you can go to my website and see my bio. It'll list my training, my education, shows, awards, etc. And I studied with several well-known artists, and some of them, a few of those I studied with for some year-long programs, and my mentor in particular I'm still basically under her tutelage. So I think that, coupled with my career experiences, maybe qualifies me to consider myself a judge. But I'm not special. I've had some successes, but my opinions shouldn't cause anybody any unhappiness. It's hard to judge and reject someone's art while awarding someone else some art, but I remember the phrase on any given Sunday, meaning that what I chose for this show, my opinions might change a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. Another artist, another judge might have entirely different take on it, so don't take any of this personally. Let's see, what else would I like to say? If you didn't receive an award, don't think of it as a disapproval or an indictment of your art. Remember, it's only the opinion of one person. And conversely, if you did receive a award, congratulations and enjoy the moment, but please also remember it's only the opinion of one person. So with that said, I believe that completes my introduction, and I'm going to step aside now, turn off the camera, and move on to the next phase. Thank you very much. I'd like to talk a little bit about the judging process. Judging a show online does have some drawbacks, and the presentation is certainly affected because not everybody has the same equipment or expertise in photographing their artwork. But I think my background in digital reproduction might allow me to compensate for that to an extent. I began by taping a piece of paper over the caption area so as to not be unduly influenced by the names, although I'm not sure that I would have known a lot of the people that I saw on the show. So I just wanted to make it a blind process to begin with. And then I just scroll through, taking in each piece, getting my initial impression, making mental notes, seeing what wowed me, seeing what stood out and grabbed me, And after I completed that process, I set it aside. Then I went back and went through the same process again, scrolling through the show, making my mental notes. And I probably did that about a dozen times until I got down to the nitty-gritty of actually going through and looking at each piece. And at that point, my criteria was based on creativity, quality, and the overall impression. After I formulated my thoughts, I removed the paper, not so much to see the names, but to see the size, because that can also influence like how much effort went into creating something based on how small it was or how large it was, and also to see the title. I've often felt that, actually it's been proven at art shows, that a title can sell a piece of artwork. And for me as a judge, it also gives me a little bit more insight as to the artist's thoughts of what they were trying to portray. So I thought that was valuable. In the process of eliminating, eliminating pieces, I considered the various elements of painting. Composition and design, the foundation, the structure, the fundamental component, regardless of medium or genre. Focal point, movement through the piece, how the viewer is guided through the artwork, drawing accuracy and technical skill. Now this is a big one for me, and you'll see in my critiques that'll be coming up that I put a lot of emphasis on drawing. It comes from my mentor, who I've been with for 12 years, and she's still my mentor. And I have I think of it as this little alter ego, subconscious angel or devil sitting on my shoulder, that when I'm painting and something's not quite right, I hear her voice saying, "You have a drawing problem." And of course I don't want to hear that. I want to be done with it. I don't want to have to fix it. But in the long run, I know she's right, and that kind of guides me in my painting. So I put a lot of emphasis on that, and I did in the judging of this show as well. Other factors are control of medium and technique, the choice of color, the color quality, how clean it is it balanced, is it washed out, the color harmony, the temperature, the hue, all of those factors. The balance of light and dark patterns, the shapes, the variety of shapes, how the shapes work with one another, the values, the edges, the light source, the textures, and finally uniqueness. Now, I know at other shows at the ceremony that people would like to talk to the judges to find out what it was about their piece that maybe disqualified it in the judge's eye, or what could be done to improve it. And we're not going to have that opportunity with the in-person restrictions. But since there's a relatively small number of entries, I spent a day, actually yesterday, going through, and in Photoshop I did some mock-ups to help illustrate my critiques, and I plan to provide an individual video of those that can be viewed after the show, and you can talk to the people in charge how that will be distributed. So now let's go on to discussing the awards. Award for Artistic Achievement. This award goes to Joe E. Smith for Bunch of Glimmer. I was drawn to this piece because of the textures and the patterns. It just had a unique stylized approach to the subject matter. It's subdued, but there's a great color harmony in the background and a little bit of punch with the red and white to give it some accents. It's got an interesting use of textures, an appealing line quality about it. You got the thick to thin, it kind of breaks up there and disappears and comes back in. It has a nice graphic treatment and execution. I would have liked to see this one in person. Because it is a mixed media piece, I was kind of curious about the glimmers. I thought it might be interesting if those were actually in a fabric or something. But overall, that's the critique which led me to give this an award of achievement. This Artistic Achievement Award goes to Janine Ewing-Belletire for her pastel painting titled Distant Red. I really like the division of space on this. Each shape is unique and different. There's small, medium, large. There's no two shapes that are alike, and it's got a nice balance to it. Each shape's different from the other shapes. It's well executed in terms of the pastel, very deliberate, and it's got nice clean color, nice contrast, and good texture. And I like the complementary color pattern of the red-green and the strong lighting pattern. So congratulations to Janine. The next achievement award goes to Camilla Pratt for her painting entitled Beehive. This one, it just feels happy and bright. It just makes you feel good. It's something I would consider in the genre called primitive, which means that it's known for its simplicity, its sincerity, and its expressive power, which I think covers all the qualities of this painting. There's a great job on the circles in the background. You can see there's a variety of them. They have a very nice arc to them. I don't know if she did them freehand, which is very impressive, or if she traced a plate. Back in the old days, we used to use circle templates, but we didn't have any that big. So the other thing about those circle shapes is the pleasing quality in the negative space. There's a great variety in the negative space as well, which is very important. It really lends itself to enhancing the background, as opposed to having every negative space be identical or repeated systematically throughout. So congratulations to Camilla. Our next Artistic Achievement Award goes to Dennis Dickerson for his digital painting called Cattail Morning. This just has a very effective mood. I love the ghostly trees melting into the background and the softness of the sun peeking through the cloud, kind of burning through the cloud. And it's got great shapes and division of space. The eye moves around nicely. And at first I was a little concerned about the eye on this bird. It reminded me of Lucifer, the sculpture out at the airport. But in doing a little more research, that is actually how that bird's eye appears. It's called an eared grebe. And so that really changed my opinion of the piece immediately upon knowing that. And I think it's got really good eye movement. Your eye moves around effortlessly, almost as the grebe does, drifting in the calm water. So congratulations to Dennis Dickerson. Our next Artistic Achievement Award goes to Camilla Rigarazzi for her mixed media collage titled The Joy of Authenticity. I knew this was going to probably get some award in the show because every time I came across it, it just made me smile, made me feel happy. And it's got a patchwork pattern of a lot of different shapes. And again, there's a variety of shapes, and there's a variety of shapes in the negative space as well. They all intertwine very nicely and create an effective dark light pattern, good eye movement throughout. And it kind of makes me think of lenticular printing, which is an image that when you shift the card that you're looking at, you would see one image and then you turn it another way and you see another image. So you kind of have that effect here where some people might not see the goofy face of the llama immediately, or that might be the first thing they see, but it kind of gives you two paintings in one, and you can choose to look at whichever version of it you like. But it's just a happy painting, and congratulations to Cammy. This Artistic Achievement Award goes to Margo McGrew for her pastel painting entitled A Quiet Place. It's a really inviting scene. It's just kind of feels like a lazy Saturday. It has a nice technique, and what I like about it is the ethereal quality of the brushwork from the pastels. It just feels nice and open and loose, and it gave a great feeling of serenity. So congratulations to Margo. This Artistic Achievement Award goes to Nanette Fazio for her sculpture Rock Cut. This has great shapes. It's hard to get that random quality without falling into a pattern of symmetry. We tend to want to have things organized, and balancing out the irregularities into all the different spaces so they're different between the negative space and the positive space. And that occurs within each individual piece, but it also occurs as a whole because you have your large, medium, and small pieces. And I could see that this sculpture could be arranged in a multitude of different positions and still hold up because of those qualities. It's got very striking finishes too. I love the kind of turquoise revealing and the copper working together, which kind of gives you a little bit of that complementary color happening. And I just think it's a fascinating piece. So congratulations to Nanette. This Artistic Achievement Award goes to Elena Hofrichter for her fiber piece called Courting Cranes. And I'm kind of holding off revealing it because what appealed to me was I found it very striking when it first popped up on my screen. So, wow. It's got very skilled handiwork here. I can't imagine how much time it took. It's very labor intensive. I would have liked to seen this one in person because there's such a great subtlety in the variety of colors happening throughout. The larger shape of the orange, there's multiple different values of color within that. And the shapes are very appealing. The balance of the shapes is great, and I love the blue-orange complementary colors. And hopefully sometime I can see it in the future in person. But congratulations to Elena. This Artistic Achievement Award goes to Connie Ruel for her painting Sunset in Acapulco. This is a very strong painting in terms of the figure. I love the quality of light. It's very well executed in terms of the backlight. You can see it on the leg, you can see it on the forearm, as well as the reflective light. You can see it in the underarm area and coming up under the chest area. The water is very well done, a nice variety of shapes and colors and gradations within the water. There is a couple things about this that I did have a little bit of an issue with that I'll discuss in the critique. But overall, this is a great painting, and congratulations to Connie. This Artistic Achievement Award goes to Cindi Yaklich for her painting Blue Pot and Tangerines. This one just jumps off the screen. It's got great realism, yet a very painterly quality. I love the lighting and the lost edges, the hidden edges, the reflective quality. It's got a real mastery in the painting, and I had one little issue with a drawing problem that I don't want to really get into right now, but I'll go through it in the critique. But it's a very nicely executed painting, and congratulations to Cindi. The award for third place goes to Emery Rugen Duffin for her digital painting entitled Luminous Witch. Now, I've done both digital art and traditional painting, and I'll have to say I'm not a fan of digital art, but I need to say that because I had to overcome that personal bias because this piece was so well done, it was deserving of an award. It's got great light. It's elegantly crafted, both in drawing and application of the media. It's wonderful precision and believable rendering on both the reflected light and the backlight. And for those reasons, I give the third place award to Emery. Congratulations. The second place award goes to Lance Duffin for his painting The Kilt. I feel like I know this guy. He looks like a member of the Celtic rock band Angus Moore that are friends of mine. I know he's not in the band, but he does look like he could be in the mosh pit. I know this is a self-portrait of Lance from the notes I saw. I like the format. It's got great brushwork and a lot of energy. Just the right amount of information without being overly rendered. And the figure is very solid in terms of the drawing. These calves look like a lot of those Highland guys calves that I see at the festivals. And just the face is very well executed as well. It's got a nice job on the logo and rendering on the t-shirt. And I think we should give a round of applause to Lance for his second place award on the painting the kilt. Now I'd like to present the Judges Award. I went back and forth on this between Judges Award and Best of Show, but because of a personal connection, I felt that it was deserving of the Judges Award. So that goes to Lydia Pottoff for her pastel painting, The Long Ski Home. This piece had the wow factor for me. Every time I came across it as I shuffled through, it just popped, and I thought it stood out. It certainly is the color, but it's more than color. I think value plays a strong part in my decision because there's a lot of color happening within the shadow. You have this blue shadow, but if you look closely, you'll see pinks, purples, greens, but they don't overpower the blue shadow because of the value control. And the shapes, they're nicely divided. It has great composition, great movement, and pleasing balance in terms of the lighting system. There's a variety of colors. Another aspect of the color was the vibrancy. It's cleanly mixed and cleanly applied. Striking composition, close control of values, great balance, all factors which led me to give Lydia the Judges Award. Congratulations. This brings us to the final award, Best of Show, which goes to Kirk Fry for his photograph, Iceland Beach. It's just a stunning painting that really grabbed my attention the first time I saw it. It's got great movement, leads your eye around. It's got great shape, great division of space in terms of larger, smaller. No shapes are identical. There's a nice symmetry about it. Your eye moves around easily. It draws you in. It just looks like someplace you want to be. And Best of Show award goes to Kirk Fry. Congratulations. In closing, I'd like to say it was a great show. I want to thank the Louisville Art Association for having me as a judge. It's very much appreciated and quite an honor. I'd like to congratulate all the award winners as well as everyone that participated in the show, and I'd like to say something a little bit about that. In a perfect world, your creative effort should be rewarded with praise and attention. And in Ireland, this is known as the noble call. You're recognized for the endeavor, not the end product. Praise goes to the people that make an effort to create something, whether it's a piece of art, written word, story, song. It's not easy to put yourself out there to be judged, exposing yourself through your creative efforts. And you should be recognized because you contributed to the flow of humanity through your generosity and courage, and you deserve accolades for that from the public. And when you've done so, that means that you've answered the noble call. Thank you very much.